Golden State Warriors only needed 5 games to take care of the Dallas Mavericks. So any thoughts now we're heading to the offseason for the Dallas Mavericks?
It's fair to say that the Mavericks exceeded expectations in this season. I think out of the Warriors, the Heat, the Celtics, and the Mavericks, most people would probably say the Mavericks were the biggest surprise out of all those teams. They're in a interesting spot because although some Mavericks fans might be down about the way that the season ended, I think this is a really good thing at this point in Luka's career for the Mavericks front office because they've now seen that he has the ability to make some deep playoff runs, and that could incentivize Mark Cuban to maybe spend a little more, go deeper, maybe get into the luxury tax, get a little bit more aggressive in trades. They made it to the Western Conference Finals. And so if you can build upon this, you potentially even do better the next year and maybe go to the finals, maybe win a championship. All those things start to feel a little more attainable now that they've done this, to where if you asked Mark Cuban or Mavericks fans last year how they feel after losing in the first round, you wouldn't be as optimistic. But the tough part for the Mavericks is they don't really have a lot of flexibility, right? Like you look at their contracts. Next year, they have every single player on the roster under contract except for Theo Pinson, Moses Wright, and Jalen Brunson. You got a team option for Josh Green. So if they don't want to keep him, they get rid of him. But I don't see why they would not. Except that it's only $3 million. He's a good 3-and-D player, has some potential value. So most of their players are still under contract. So it's not like they have a ton of money to go out and spend in free agency. And they have this decision with Jalen Brunson. You could try to use him in maybe a sign and trade. He had a really good season this year. And so he has value. He's going to get paid. From what I've seen, projections are like about $20 million a year. I think the Mavericks' best option there is honestly to sign and trade him. I think that if you can find a trade partner to get you maybe a better big man, even just some of the names that I've seen thrown around out there for potential centers that could be moved, not they will be, but could be. Obviously, DeAndre Ayton, Rudy Gobert, some guys like that who, if you're the Mavericks, you should absolutely be interested in, because with Luka Doncic, you don't really need more guards. And that's what Jalen Brunson is. You already have Spencer Dinwiddie as well. Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to come back next year, and he's getting paid $19 million. So he can eat up Jalen Brunson's minutes. Your big man rotation, you got Boban, who's never really going to play any meaningful minutes in playoff games. You got Dwight Powell, who got played off the court in the Warriors series specifically. He wasn't a great rim protector, and he just couldn't really handle the 5-out when they went small ball. And so really the only viable big man that you had right now was Maxi Kleber. And I mean, he had a great playoff run. He's a very versatile player because he can shoot. He can switch out into the perimeter and hold his own for the most part. But I still think that they need a big man option to complement Luka, complement the wing guys that they have, who are some 3-and-D players like Reggie Bullock and Dorian Finney-Smith. Overall, the Mavericks, they could go a lot of ways. I've heard some people say they need to get another scorer like a Zach LaVine or somebody like that. But the Mavericks, they're in a really interesting spot. Like I said, it's good because I think it puts pressure on the front office to be more aggressive, because you saw how good they were this year, but bad because you don't have a lot of flexibility to make moves.
So I'm with you. I think Dallas does need to obviously make a move. I was actually more thinking along the lines of trading Spencer Dinwiddie. It kind of makes sense because Mark Cuban's already mentioned that they are really, I forgot the quote exactly, but basically saying they want to re-sign Brunson, but need a different kind of dynamic star. Just hard to win with Luka's usage rating, just relying on him being your main scorer and facilitator. Honestly, the injury that he had last game of the season, missed a couple at first against Utah, I think was a blessing in disguise, because although he was injured, I think it did give Luka more fresher legs per se whenever he did come back and he could show the load. I could easily see, like you said, them trading Brunson instead. He may be the more desirable target because he did come off an ACL tear. I think Brunson's just younger anyway. But yeah, otherwise, maybe Dallas just continues to build off this momentum. Like you mentioned, a team that I definitely didn't think was going this far. I think Luka definitely has shown that, yes, he can win in the playoffs. Now the question is, like, what else can he and I guess the organization do to get over that hurdle that right now, I guess you could say, is Warriors, but just in general, we know the West is going to be competitive. And this is saying, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. I'm with you. I think also with the majority of the public, Dallas, they have to do more. Luka's great, but just in this age, unless you have like a stud team around you, which no offense to those guys, they're all very good role players. Like, it just doesn't happen. You need second, third guys like we saw with Golden State. Steph, I know he won the conference finals MVP. But there were games where Clay had a really good game, and we all know how instrumental Draymond is. And Andrew Wiggins, they've molded him into a serviceable role player, 3-and-D type guy. We'll see what's in the future for the Dallas.